Martin, tomorrow night's obviously going to be remembered as the last game of Ireland's greatest goal scorer. If anyone deserves a send-off like that, is it Robbie?
Well, as you say, he's been a fantastic goal scorer. Been a really great player for not only his clubs but obviously for his country. And I suppose really since I come in, just the only disappointment I would have had that I didn't have a 27-year-old Robbie Keane rather than a 33-year-old at the time, I think he was. So, been terrific, absolutely terrific player, and certainly be hard to replace.
What's he been like for you to manage? Because, like you say, you have got him when he wasn't as young as he once was. So, how's that been the last couple of years?
Well, it's been. I think it's been difficult, and difficult for Robbie in the sense that he has always been first choice as time goes on. You know, he was, when he was first choice here for the Republic of Ireland, he was a big player in the Premier League at the time, and then obviously went out to play last couple of years in America, and here naturally I think the pace of the league would be a wee bit different, and he's just getting older. It's really as simple as that. It happens to a few people, and I think that he still showed when he was here, even though he maybe didn't start in some of the games, he showed. You know, I think you would talk about being a proper captain, where he was encouraging to the younger lads. He was always first one up when we would score a goal, and he was a major part of it. And I was pleased he was. He was the captain of the team when I came in. He remained so throughout that time. And any time he started in a game, he was the captain.
It's bad news for you, John, isn't it? It means a bit more media.
Well, Robbie's been unbelievable since I've been in as well, especially with myself and other lads off the pitch. It's not just what he's like on it. It's sometimes the long trips when you come away, and the type of lad he is off the pitch, he's unbelievable, really.
You'd be sorry to see him go on and off the pitch.
Of course, yeah, of course. He's I said the record he has is matched by few, you know, over the course of time, and as I said, he's been an unbelievable player, but off the pitch he's been great, especially the past few years, and well, that's difficult for players, especially when they're not playing as much. He's been first class.
Can I just lastly ask Martin, it sounds like at least one of your players will be moving clubs in Jeff Hendrick in the next day or two. How will you handle that? Will they be allowed to fly back if they need to? How will you deal with it?
Yeah, not a problem at all, because this is, if anything like that happens to any of the players, they have permission to go, because they're trying to get their future sorted out, and while it might be a wee bit of an awkward time, it's just inevitable that these things are going to happen. So it's not a problem at all.
Do you know of anything that is happening? Has anyone come and spoken to you?
I really don't know at the moment. I think that there was interest from some clubs, but I think that was all I had known from last night anyway.
Martin, what's the situation with the injuries, James and Seamus?
Seamus is doing fine at this minute. He hasn't joined in yet. Obviously, he wouldn't play in the game against Oman, and I think it would certainly be it would be the same for James. James has got a bit of a groin problem, and he's just joined us. He came in last night, and he's just been assessed by us at this minute. So he wouldn't be fit for the Oman game, but we'll see how he is in the next 48 hours. Shane trained today. That wasn't a problem, and Robbie trained today as well.
Robbie, the first name on your team sheet?
Well, I haven't told him whether he would start the game, but he'd be certainly participating in the game. Fairly decent chance he would start the game.
And David Ford wasn't out there today. What's the situation with him?
Well, David has, I think, just joined a new club, gone to Portsmouth. His first choice at this minute. and I think he feels just at the moment that that duty really would be to Portsmouth. He's established himself there. They've got some games, obviously, during the course of the international, the games that we're playing. He plays for club, and I think just at this minute to get that established, he wants to do that. He just doesn't want to give up that position. I agree with the sentiment, you know. So he's not with us.
On that, are you bringing another keeper then? And
Yeah. I think I've spoken to Stephen Kenny, and I want to bring Gary in, who's known the setup here for a while, and that's what I'd like to do.
Just on Robbie spoke yesterday about how you called him a few weeks ago about coming in for this game. How did you balance the desire to sort of recognise his contribution with the fact that this is essentially a preparation for a World Cup?
Well, that is true. It's exactly that. It's a game when he told me way back a few weeks ago that he was retiring. Then this opportunity to come up to just say farewell, I think, was something that was talked about by a number of people, and why not? Considering that he has been such a stalwart, really, for the Republic of Ireland. We can balance that. We'll go with it. I feel he deserves it, and I didn't see it being a massive problem. Of course, like everything else, it's asking about. You're talking about preparation. You're talking about some players having to perhaps leave to get medicals if there are opportunities to go to other clubs. That's just part of it now. It's just part of this particular week, which hopefully after Wednesday evening, after Thursday morning, it'll all clear up and get our minds totally set in Serbia.
Martin, what can you tell us about your starting team for tomorrow? Obviously, you have to keep in mind the game against Serbia on Monday. Would you like to start a lot of the first teamers?
Well, I think that there are a number of players who haven't played that much football, which is always going to be the case at the end of August time. It's the reason that we played 2 years ago. We had this game against Oman, and it served a great purpose for us. We went on to Georgia and had a big win there. But some people, like, for instance, Eden McGeady. Eden hasn't been given a shirt by Everton this season. He continues to be an important part for us, in considering the ability that he possesses. Like everything else, he wants to play. He wants to. I think he would. Knowing to still try and stay around the international scene, he has to go and play first-team football somewhere. So you're balancing those things with some players who you know that have done some playing and are reasonably fit. You know, John, for instance, is in my time I've known him, very fit lad, naturally fit, keeps himself in really good condition. So you know that there are certain players like that might be okay. Other players that certainly need some football.
John, can I just ask you that injury didn't do you any favours in June in France? It gives you an added incentive now to do well in this tournament.
Oh, of course, and I didn't play obviously as much as I would have hoped, and tore my Achilles just before the tournament, and it was a case of catch up. And it's just been a case of working since then, all over the summer, every single day, to try and get things right. And I'm just about there now. So, of course, I'm in the boat with a few others that didn't play a lot, and players on the fringes or didn't make it to the Euros that'll be looking to impress, and especially in the game tomorrow, and then starting the campaign off on a good start.
Martin, hi. Just a couple of another player you didn't mention there in your sort of the injuries or rundown. John O'Shea, I think, we gather he's trained at Sunderland. He's maybe due in tomorrow. Could you just clarify his position in relation to maybe a chat you had about after the Euros going forward? And also, is he someone you might look at as appointing as captain for the campaign, even though he may not be first choice? Because you have a decision to make there in terms of a captain for the squad for the World Cup.
Well, I think that I spoke to John, and John, I didn't. I said to him, there's still room for him here as a player. He has got 1 year left, I think, of his contract at club level. and I wanted him to, if he was thinking about retiring, I would want him to have maybe had second thoughts about it, because I still believe that his particular influence around the place, very much like Robbie's in that sense, and very much like John and a few of the senior players, has been very, very strong. It's been very good, and the younger players have benefited from that. And I still believe that John has something to offer for us in every capacity. So I just thought if he was thinking about retiring at that stage, maybe just to have second thoughts. I think on the strength of that, then John thought, well, okay, let's see how it goes from here and take it on. Now it's he's recovering now from an injury. He had an injection, I think, and he just needs a couple of days to recover from that. But overall, again, I'd bracket John alongside Robbie in terms of my time here, of what John's particular influence has been around the place, in a different manner completely to Robbie, with the same sort of influence.
And just on the follow up on that, in relation to the captaincy, Robbie said yesterday he defined his Irish career. He made captain by Steve Staunton, and it gave him a huge responsibility. He's had it for 10, 11 years. Do you see John as short?
I haven't. Seamus came in and did very, very well indeed, and I think it's been excellent. John has been captain once or twice. A number of people have been, but I will. I've got something in mind, but I'll let you know.
Martin, yesterday Robbie Keane spoke about how much passion he got from wearing the Irish jersey, and after representing a host of different clubs, he said wearing the Irish jersey was kind of the best of all. How is that a unique thing to Ireland? Because we've seen a few of your players, a good few of your players over the years, say that, how the Irish jersey is probably the pinnacle of their careers. That's something unique.
Well, I don't unique in this. I think just it's getting back to the point where players like to play for their country, and Robbie has won it with great distinction, and it is as you mentioned a pinnacle. I think it is, particularly if you've ended up playing in major competitions at the not just the qualifying games, but to actually make a few major competitions during that time. And all of those things are fantastic memories. I know from my own experience of playing with Northern Ireland, reaching the World Cup finals in 1982 was just absolutely fantastic, and our efforts out there were great. So Robbie will take away some great memories with the number of games that he's played, the number of goals that he's scored, and is he one behind Gerd Müller? Is he? Well, you better do it in the first 20 minutes of the game, because he's going to find time pressing, really pressing.
And just finally for John, John, you've been one of those players that have expressed your enjoyment of playing for Ireland over the years, and I think recently we've seen Scott Brown of Scotland, I think he's 31, a year younger than you, retire effectively from international duty. What's your opinion about players that do tend to hang up their boots a little early? I mean, for you, is it like Robbie Keane's attitude, you want to play as long as possible?
Yeah, I think each individual brings its own case. I think, obviously, with Scott Brown, as he got a few injury issues, where it maybe takes longer to recover than others. I think that may play a part in a lot of players' decisions, and some people don't like sort of coming away and having a break, and you might get time off at club level to go away on holiday. I know certainly the lads at Stoke do get a little break every international break, but with myself, and I know with some of the other older players, we thoroughly enjoy coming out every single time, and there's no issue or no personally with me, I'm fine with injuries and I feel fit as ever. So
you're not forcing him to retire, are you?
There's no pressure, John. There's no pressure for you to retire. There's no pressure. You saw your contract last year. Don't say next 2 years you've got to stop the Irish game.
No, not at all.
John, just picking up something Martin just said about the reference to one more goal would put Robbie level with Gerd Müller in the all-time scoring stakes. I think it's fair to say the whole country would, apart from that milestone, would love to see Robbie sign off with a goal or goals. And I guess that's shared by you guys, but I wonder to what extent that would influence how you play. I mean, if you were in with a chance of scoring tomorrow night, assuming you're on the pitch, but there's also a chance to lay one up for Robbie, are you guys going to be less selfish as strikers than you normally are in a game?
Well, first of all, it's an unbelievable record. He has and what he's going for. But I'm pretty sure if he's playing, he'll find himself in a lot of situations where he'll put the ball in the back of the net. And over the course of me being here, he's one of those players that he always seems to find the ball in the box, always seems to find space and get a goal. And hopefully it will happen tomorrow night. And we'll be looking to see him up to get that record, definitely.
Could I just ask the same question, Martin? Martin, is that in any way an issue? It is a warm-up game for the Serbians, but could you understand if the other players were kind of going slightly out of their way to set one up for Robbie?
Well, if they're in a better goal-scoring position and they decide to lay one back to Robbie and he misses, Robbie's retiring, and there's a fairly decent chance the other boy will retire as well.
John, it's only about 2 months since the Euros ended, which was the end of a 2-year cycle. Is it easy to pick yourself up for what is going to be another 2-year slog of qualifiers?
Straight back into it, isn't it? It seems, yeah. The Euros has just finished and we're straight back into it, and that's always the case. You say pick yourselves up, but I thought the lads, especially, the last couple of games in the tournament were unbelievable, and show real promise for the future. Some players really staked the claim and brought themselves right to the forefront of the international setup. The likes of Robbie Brady and Jeff and James and Seamus. So I don't think it's a case of picking ourselves up to go again. It's just a case of full steam ahead into the World Cup.
Just for John as well, you mentioned about Robbie's kind of influence just off the pitch as well. Is that something now that you'll feel you'll take on, that responsibility around the place, kind of not just on the pitch but off it as well?
I think it's something that just as a group we all have. I think we all just get on really well, and Robbie will be a huge miss because he's been around since everyone's been here. But as I said, we all get on well, and I don't think it's a case of someone taking on the mantle. I think it's just the closeness we have as a group of lads together. So we'll all get on. Obviously, we'll as an older player, the younger boys are coming in. You'll be looking to help them and settle them into the squad. But everything else, I think it's just a case of status quo and everyone just getting on with how we are.
I think John's playing down his role in the last couple of years. In fairness, he's picked it up brilliantly. Not only I think his performances on the field in the qualification, a major part of us being here, and I thought he was missed in the games. He obviously wasn't properly fit in the matches out there, which is a great shame. And but he has again, he's been a big influence around the place, and I think his performances on the field have shown that as well too. So he's playing it down a little bit. The senior players have been great, really great, and I don't know what constitutes a senior player now. Have you to be over 39, or I don't know, whatever it is, but John's still a long way to go, and they've really been excellent, must admit, really excellent, and they are mainly responsible for having what we consider a really decent team spirit around about the place.
Is John someone you could have done without for this campaign? Is John someone you couldn't have done without for this campaign?
The last campaign, absolutely. This brings its own trials and tribulations and joys. If we can get through, it'd be great. It'd be a really tough one. But in the last campaign, absolutely, yeah, he was pivotal, and he made himself that during the course of the 2 years. Definitely, or whatever it was, a year's qualifying and the preparation beforehand. So this is totally different now. We're going into a competition where, I have to say, I think it's exceptionally difficult. Start off, I know that we had 3 out of the first 4 games in the Euros away from home, but look at the matches now we have coming up. So you don't want to be out of it, before you're actually really in it. I think that, as I said, get the transfer deadline out of the way, play this game against Oman. Let's try and get some players some playing time, get our mind set for Serbia and get ready for it. What I think my own view in the group is I think that the winner may well have less points than other teams, because I think that teams are capable of beating each other, and I think that it's going to be like that. So obviously we want to try and get started as quickly as possible, and leave it on the field of play rather than talking about it.
2 more questions, please.
Can I ask John, hi John, about Robbie, part of the Strikers Union, if you like. What were his best qualities as a striker, and also your memories of him before you were involved in the squad, and then when you were in the squad, of goals he scored or things that he did on or off the pitch?
Best quality of any striker is putting the ball in the back of the net, and he does it better than most. Club level, international level, his record speaks for itself. Before I was in the squad, just watching the games, isn't it? And he came on from such a young age, and he's had such a long time on the international stage, and even at Premier League level, and every level he's been at, really, he's been exceptional. So there's much more you can say, really. As a striker, best quality is putting it in the back of the net, and he does it exceptionally well.
Was it his runs? Was it how clever he was in the box? Was it playing off a big man?
No, I think it's in the box, isn't it? As a striker, he's one of those players in the box that he'll find space. His movement and his touch is second to none, and he'll always get a finish off, strike off a goal, and seems to sort of bamboozle defenders, doesn't he? He has that first touch away from him and second touch in the back of the net, and he's done it on so many occasions. It's been a pleasure to play with him and watch as well, growing up.
Can you remember a favourite goal?
There's plenty of them. There's a few in the Premier League, probably for Ireland. You're looking at the major tournaments. The one against Germany, probably, but I think there's so many quality goals he scored, even at Spurs, Wolves, Liverpool. You could pick so many.
And Martin, can I ask you, do you see a role for Robbie in the future, in a coaching sense, maybe even in a managing sense for Ireland?
Well, in the managing sense, I hope it's not going to be the next 2 months. But I really don't know. I don't know about that. The most important thing, I think, is this here, that he stays in the game in some capacity. We were having a chat the other evening, myself and a couple of other of the senior players. I just said to him, just stay in the game, because it's something you love, and if you once you retire from playing, I'm talking at club level, if you're not in it, you will miss it. So I think they're doing their badges, they're doing everything possible, and I don't see why not. I see that notice now that some of the ex-players who have played and been decent players are getting themselves involved, and I think that's really a healthy thing. I think it's really important, and I would encourage that greatly, obviously. And there's no reason why he or John or any of these lads here who have got management in mind should not go, or coaching should not go and further that. And I think that's genuinely think it's a great thing. Although I think they have a look at me, and possibly that would dissuade them from doing it, because they don't want to look like me.
And I finally clarified with regard to Gary Rogers, is he going to travel to Serbia? Is that in your plans now? You do know that Dundalk have a cup game tonight and a game on Friday.
I know about the games, yes, and I've spoken to Stephen, and I think that they've got the game. They've got a game tonight. They've got a game on Friday, and they've got a game the following Tuesday. I think the plan, which sometimes never works out this way, would be that whether Gary's involved tonight or not, I don't know, but he would come with us tomorrow and be part of it. He knows the players anyway. And he could still play Friday night for Dundalk. We don't travel until Saturday afternoon. I know it's a hectic schedule for him. We don't get into about 3:30, 4 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and they've got the game on the Tuesday night. So it might be difficult. But he's trained with us before. He knows the players pretty well, and I like him. And so if Dundalk are happy with it, then I would go along with it. But I do realise that it's tough for them. But they've come through some major tests just recently. They've been genuine credit. I think Stephen Kenny has been outstanding. I think the players have been fantastic, and I must admit, had their schedule not been as big as this year, I was thinking about bringing one or two of their lads in just to train with us for a day or two.
You didn't consider bringing them into the squad?
Just only just to do a little bit of training, but I'd like to see them. I think they've been brilliant, and if that was kind of a semi-reward, which they may not even have felt that themselves, but if it was, then it would have been great, because they've carried the flag here brilliantly.
Last question.
Just ask John, touching something that Martin mentioned earlier on in terms of the group, with only one automatically qualifying, is that something the players have spoken about in terms of the challenge ahead? Last time was 2 qualifying plus third into the playoff. That how difficult is it going to be?
It's not something we spoke about, but I think it's something we're aware of. It's going to be very difficult. There's some very good groups, very good teams. In the group, Wales, Austria, Serbia are not an easy team. So yeah, it's
Austria.
Yeah, and although we didn't do so well at the Euros, you got some exceptional players in there. So it's going to be a difficult group, but it's a challenge that we've laid down for ourselves, and one we've got to step up to.
Okay. Martin, just on the goalkeeper before you go, I'm sorry about that. It was passed over to me. Shay Given, would he have any involvement at all tomorrow night? Is he going to come out just to be part of the whole thing, or was that part of your plans?
Yes, yeah, I would like Shay to. I know that that he has retired before, and I know this, and but I had mentioned to Shay at the time when Robbie was talking about retiring, and Shay doesn't want to steal anyone's limelight or anything like this here. He said whatever way it is, but I would like him to come over, because he has been as important as anybody. He's been a fantastic player for the Republic of Ireland. Been a fantastic goalkeeper at club level. You ask any of the big boys that he's played with, and they said he's magnificent. So, and he retired a few years ago, after the Polish thing. I think he probably had a bit of a regret about that, and that's maybe not the way he wanted it to end. And in fairness, he was keeping goal. He was our first choice goalkeeper at the time, up until the injury against Germany. And yeah, I would like him. I'd spoken to him some time ago, tried to call him there just recently, and I'd like him to be involved in some way, at least to be there on the night. If that's something he'd want to do, I'd be happy enough to fall in with it. But he doesn't want to be taking any limelight away from anyone, and I think the fact that he had retired before maybe is playing a part of his or playing a bit on his mind about that there. But overall, yeah, he has been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Sorry.
Just throw one more in. I know the new contract was agreed during the Euros and you wanted to stay. Is that signed now? Is that done?
I just thought I was going to get away with it then, I really did. So I'm going to excommunicate you now. So yeah, we're there. It's about to be signed, in the next year and a half. Okay. It's be there. It should be close, honestly. Yeah.